Coming up on this episode of Falmouth in Focus, the North Falmouth Elementary School tells us about an upgrade they're hoping to get. The Falmouth Division of Marine and Environmental Services, along with some hardy volunteers, relay oysters from one side of Falmouth to the other. The high school shows its students the dangers of texting and driving. And we take you on a spooky, fun time with the Falmouth Museums on the Green, a visit from a night watchman. All this and much more on this episode of Falmouth in Focus.
Hello and welcome to Falmouth in Focus. I'm Liz Lerner, the Membership and Outreach Coordinator here at FCTV. Falmouth in Focus is a collaborative current affairs program where we feature the people, places, and things that make up our town. We start each show with headlines, get more in depth with member, contributor, and staff productions, and end the show with Troy Clarkson's take and the sights and sounds around town. Fall is the season of maintenance here in town, and the Little Pond Sewer Service Area project is well underway. Amy Lowell, the Assistant Wastewater Manager, tells us about the project and the work that's currently being done.
We're going to start here in on the Mara Vista Peninsula, where the crew is doing some directional drilling, and then we're going to move to gravity installation, where the contractor's installing some gravity main. We'll try to look at a low pressure service installation and take a look at a couple of the other sites where the work is ongoing. The town appropriated money for the Little Pond Sewer Service Area project and other wastewater projects at a town meeting in April of 2014. Total of $49.82 million was appropriated at that time. That was for constructing sewers throughout the Mara Vista and part of the Falmouth Heights Peninsula. And it included upgrades at some existing lift stations, construction of new recharge beds north of our existing recharge beds up at the main plant in West Falmouth, and also some upgrades at our existing wastewater treatment plant.
Streets will be temporarily closed to through traffic while pipes and manholes are being installed, and again later for sewer lateral installation. Streets that will be affected during the next few weeks include Spring Bars Road, Raymond Street to Route 28, Miami Avenue to Hudson Street, and other Mara Vista locations. For the complete listing of roads that will be affected, visit the Town of Falmouth's website at falmouthmass.us. Members of the North Falmouth community are looking to replace a playground at the elementary school. Parent Alyssa Hike-Harris and Principal Tim Adams share more about this effort.
What I hope to see is that we have brand new up-to-date play structures that are safe and meet all the current requirements for students, and that we have equipment that's accessible to all students here at North Falmouth.
It has become a safety issue. The current equipment doesn't meet current safety standards. As well as a maintenance issue. The Falmouth DPW maintains these playgrounds and they can no longer get the parts to replace and repair this equipment. We're working on this project with the Falmouth DPW, and they have applied for community preservation funds to help fund this project, and they have recommended $57,500 of the community preservation funds. The committee has made this recommendation for those funds to go to this project, and that will be voted on at Falmouth Town Meeting November 9th.
And tell me about what the new playground will look like.
Well, we'll have a big climbing equipment piece up here with some other ground equipment, some spinning toys. We're going to replace the swings that are down the hill with some traditional swings, as well as a couple of basket swings that accommodate several kids at a time, kind of like a big swinging hammock. And then down the hill where the little toy is now, there's going to be a big climbing dome, as well as some other pieces and some pieces specifically for the younger age group for the community.
It's a great time in a school's life when you go through a playground build. It means a lot to the kids, and you only do it a few times, so this is a really special part of our year and of our school's life, and we're excited to have you be part of it.
You can find more information about this project at the group's Facebook page under the name North Falmouth Elementary School PTO Playground Project. The town swore in 7 new police officers on Monday, November 2nd. The new officers are Megan Andrade, Timothy Brandt, Newton Cardozo, John DuPont, Ryan Hurt, Jay Conyon, and Stephen Sr. Jr. Family members pinned badges to the new officers during the ceremony. This is the first time since 2009 that the Falmouth Police Department will be up to its fully funded staff of 58 people. In an effort to keep our residents informed on happenings in Town Hall, FCTV Government Channel 15 has provided the following summary as a public service from government meetings from the last 2 weeks. Selections are chosen based on community impact.
Our expectations at this point are to find a site. We're at a crossroads, quite frankly, and we've made all this progress, and really the town is expecting us to make a decision.
After many presentations and much deliberation regarding the future home of the Falmouth Senior Center, the selectmen have approved their decision on where the best location for the proposed building will be.
All those in favor of the Brick Hill Road site for the new senior center, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None? The ayes have it.
On Tuesday, October 27th, the Planning Board discussed their recommendation for Article 3 of the November special town meeting. The proposed amendment to the zoning chapter of the Code of Falmouth would read,
Any wind energy system owned by the town of Falmouth and used for municipal purposes in existence as of the date of this bylaw shall be exempt from the provisions of this article pursuant to section 240-30B, may be allowed to operate as a matter of right in public use district.
Well, that's one thing. When the zoning bylaw is being created and you want to exempt the municipality from certain things, to me, this smacks of really special treatment that a government should not get to exempt itself from its own laws.
the board unanimously voted indefinite postponement on Article 3 of the November special town meeting. There were 3 hearings that came before the Zoning Board of Appeals regarding the wind turbines at last week's meeting.
This is 3 residents who have recently initiated an enforcement request asking the zoning enforcement officer to cease operation of Wind 2.
Testimony was heard by both the attorneys representing the people impacted by the project as well as town officials speaking in regards to the benefits of the project. Additionally, the town began a public hearing in regards to a special permit for Wind 1.
And so, officially, this is our ask for a special permit at the Falmouth Wastewater Treatment Facility at 154 Black Shop Smith Road.
All hearings were continued to Thursday, November 19. See the meeting live on Channel 15 at 6 p.m.
To watch the full meeting, please view them on our Government Channel 15 on-demand page on our website, fctv.org. Barnstable Municipal Airport conducted an exercise involving safety protocols with a full-scale emergency drill on October 28th at 5 p.m. on the airport grounds in Hyannis. The exercise simulated a mock scenario of an aircraft accident. Police, fire, Cape Cod and Falmouth hospitals, and federal agencies all played a role in the demonstration.
As you may or may not know, we had this evening a simulated in a large aircraft, an Embraer 190, landed on runway 6 in inclement weather and caught a wingtip, which tore the wing off, and then the fuselage left the runway and broke into 3 sections and split into 3 pieces, caught on fire, and we responded to that emergency. We know that there are people that have been injured, and we know that there may have been people that are fatalities. I don't have the exact numbers yet. We're still waiting for that information to come in. Preliminarily, we know from the company that owns the aircraft that there's a minimum of 90 people on board, passengers, and a crew of 3. And so at this point, I don't have much of anything else to say.
For full coverage of the event, look to FCTV's website for the Channel 15 programming schedule, fctv.org. And exciting news in local sports. The Falmouth High School Clippers football team won their first playoff game in 19 years with a 20-12 win against Somerset Berkeley on Friday, October 30th. Next up, the football team has an away playoff game at Dighton-Rehoboth Regional on Friday, November 6th. Thank you to assistant coach Dana Almeida and Educational Channel 14 for that footage. Coming up, we go along for the ride as 2 million oysters make the move from one part of town to another. High school students learn about the dangers of texting and driving, And we visit the spooky Falmouth Museum's On the Green, a visit with the Night Watchman. But first, People for Cats tells us about some kittens that are currently up for adoption at their shelter. And Ahmed Mustafa of the Falmouth Veterans Council tells us what's in store for this year's Veterans Day celebration.
Falmouth's People for Cats has quite a few kittens up for adoption. As you can see, they're black or black or white, and they all need homes. You can visit them on Wednesdays from 4 to 6 p.m. or on Saturdays from 10 to 1 p.m. at the People for Cats shelter on 44 Beagle Lane in T-Ticket. For more information, visit the People for Cats website at peopleforcats.org or call them at 508-540-5654.
Hi, my name is Ahmed Mustafa, and I'm the chairman of the Falmouth Veterans Council. Here to say to you that, remember, November 11th this year, 2015, in front of the Falmouth Library on Memorial Lane, we'll have our Veterans Day services. As I've said in the past, Veterans Day is a day of celebration. Memorial Day is a day of remembrance to recognize those that are no longer with us. Hopefully we'll see you all there, and like I say, it's November 11th, and it'll be in front of the Falmouth Library on Memorial Lane, and we start at 11 a.m. So it's 11-11-11. And I think this year is going to be a good one because we have a little surprise in store. So come on down and be with us and enjoy the celebration.
Welcome back. The Falmouth Division of Marine and Environmental Services, along with some hardy volunteers, relayed oysters from their municipal oyster farm located at the end of Brockton Street in Little Pond and planted them in the wild for harvest. Contributor John Gamache brings us this great piece.
Today's a great day. Today we are relaying 2 million oysters. We've been growing them in Little Pond since June. They started the size of a grain of sand in an upweller, and we moved them from the upweller into bags, and they've been growing for the whole summer. They're about 1.5 to 2 inches average size, and we're moving them into what we call relay areas.
It was a 3-year demonstration project, and this is the 3rd year of our demonstration. And what we've been doing is we've been taking oysters and trying to use them to naturally attenuate nutrients in Little Pond.
Oysters are nature's filter feeders. A single oyster that's 3 inches filters 50 gallons of water every day. So when you start putting millions of oysters in our estuaries, what you start doing is filtering the water, improving the clarity, and more significantly, taking up nitrogen.
And we basically wanted to see how it would work in a compromised estuary, but then also see the possibility and the feasibility of replicating this project into another estuary. We've been very lucky to have tremendous support from our residents.
I think the critical thing is that we started speaking with the neighbors 2 years before we actually put anything in the water. And so they began to get the idea and understand it and really had a picture of what it was going to look like.
Very supportive. Mr. Chase, who is out there with us today, he's been one of the backbones of this project.
So what's your relationship?
We are the grandparents of these oysters, and the proud grandparents. They've been awesome. We've loved having them and enjoyed every minute.
Yeah, after 35 years, we have seen the pond deteriorate over a period of the first 33, and since this project has started, we can actually see the bottom of the water of the pond. And over the 35 years, that wasn't possible until this project started.
And they're seeing some of the benefits. They see the water getting clearer because they're such great filters. They're a biological filter, and they're going to work.
It virtually cleaned up over a 24-hour period. It's amazing.
That is amazing, truly.
So here we are at West Falmouth Harbor, and one of our boats is already loaded, and we'll be seating with these people momentarily. We're going to get all of our volunteers together and do some seating.
They grow to a certain size for 1 year, and then if they go into a nice sandy bottom area, they grow out really well for the second year, and then commercial and recreational shell fishermen and women can harvest them. If you're interested in volunteering or learning more about any of the shellfish programs that the town is working on, you can contact the Harbor Master's Office, which is also known as the Division of Marine and Environmental Services. You can go to the Town of Falmouth webpage, or you can email the Water Quality Management Committee at wqmc@falmouthmass.us.
To keep up to date on the projects of the Falmouth Division of Marine and Environmental Services, check out their Facebook page with the same name. The Institute for Highway Safety estimates that there are 11 teen deaths caused by texting and driving every day. Falmouth High School is making an effort to teach teens about the dangers of distracted driving with Distractology 101. Thank you to Education Channel 14's Ryan Weber for the following piece.
We were approached by the Arbella Insurance Company, their charitable foundation arm, to bring the Distractology van to the local high schools. This is our second year here. We can take care of up to 90 kids, and that's introducing them to things that distract them on the road while driving. They sit in a simulator and they're given several scenarios, whether it be texting or just paying attention to signs on the road and what can happen in the event they're not paying attention.
What I do is I instruct the students on what to do before the scenarios. They go through practice, they go through scenarios. During the scenarios, they encounter different things, including signs and other people they should look out for. They also use their own cell phone, and while they're using their cell phone texting, they're looking up and down really quick, and most of the time they do get into accidents in it. So throughout the whole program, it takes about 40 minutes. Throughout the whole thing, they're looking out for different things, and they're pretty much experiencing things to expect on the road and what to look out for and what they shouldn't do on the road. So it's pretty helpful, especially as a new driver.
After working here for so many years as a school resource officer, I saw a lot of kids make some very bad decisions. So I think it's important just to have an extra set of hands here to help out with the process. And the kids seem to really enjoy it and really learn something, and that's the whole idea. Texting and driving is definitely not something they should do, and also the other distractions, your friends in the car, the music, the emotions, those kinds of things. And also they get a couple of scenarios on just defensive driving where approaching an intersection you can't quite see, slow down, check it out first, not just the distracted things.
Like experience the course, because a lot of people did it last year and I wasn't able to do it, so I wanted to try it out. Also, I know that it was about texting, and I not a lot of it the time I do it, but I just wanted to see it in a simulation. I learned that I shouldn't text and that there's other distractions, because other drivers text and are distracted by other things in their own cars, so I have to watch out for those, not just my distraction.
The high school hosted Distractology 101 from Monday, October 19th to Friday, October 23rd. Falmouth Museums on the Green's spooky and educational Visit from a Night Watchman event took place on Friday, October 30th and featured historically accurate characters telling stories of the ghastly variety. Thank you to Alan Russell and Deborah Rogers for this FCTV exclusive.
My name is Captain Hamblin, Caleb Hamblin. I'm a whaler and a harpooner. What you think of that? This is a harpoon. Do you know what we do with the harpoon? What? Tell me. We throw it at the whale from the dory. The first time in the boat, I throw the harpoon like that. My arm got hooked on the sheer. The whale tried to pull me under off the coast of Australia. I was 17 years old in 1950. I went 50 feet down under. I thought I was going to drown. And you know how I got out of that? Do you? No. Let me tell you, I reached into my pocket and I pulled out my knife and I stuck it right into the whale's eye. And when he opened his mouth, I escaped and swam back up to the whaling boat. We killed the whale. We got his oil and his blubber.
Night. Oh, I'll say to that charge. Walking in our cemetery at night and talking to your cat?
Hey, I can't hear you!
So you wander in the cemetery at night talking to your cat?
Oh, that's what my kin are. They come before me. I got a right to go up there and talk to them. I'm talking to my kin, not my cat. My cat's my friend, my only friend I got, I guess.
I've seen her at night in the woods, dancing, chanting around the flames. I've seen her.
You've been accused of not attending church, of ignoring your neighbors, of talking in the graveyard to spirits, and dancing and singing around the fire with your cat in the woods. Do you deny that these are signs of witchcraft?
Hey, I can't hear you!
I ask you plainly, are you a witch?
No, I'm not a witch. I swear it, Your Honor. I swear it.
I'll swear in this Bible that I hold in my hands.
Oh no, it was her! I saw her dancing! It was her, Sarah!
Come up here, put your hands
It was not me, it was not me, it was her!
No, it was Mistress Partridge.
Go hold the Bible. It was nay me, Your Honor. It was Mistress Partridge. You was walking out at night. But she was walking out by my cottage when Prudence had her spell. And the milk went sour. And she is wearing a lace collar way above her station.
Wow. Your Honor, are all of these women witches?
It would appear
I had the most marvelous time in Katomet last night. So many wonderful people. I made them feel so much better. They smiled at me. Bless their hearts. That's what I love most about being a nurse.
Who are you and what are you doing in Falmouth?
Nurse? Falmouth? Why, I'm Nurse Jane Toppin. But some of you may know me as Jolly Jane.
Jolly Jane.
You're right. Weston Jenkins, a friend of mine, was in charge of the local militia back then. You remember him?
I do. He was tall, red-headed, a good-looking man.
Oh, and he had a temper, too. He's the one that stood up to the British. He told that Navy officer, you want those cannons? Come and get them. But I will give you what's in them first.
It was by his hand that I died. When he pushed me down the grand staircase of my father's home. Oh, Franklin, you did such evil deeds in our family.
And speaking of fun events around town, Falmouth's Chamber of Commerce President Michael Kasparian stopped by the studio to tell us about the upcoming holiday events that will happen the first weekend of December.
Hi, I'm Michael Kasparian. I'm president of the Falmouth Chamber of Commerce, and I'm here today to talk about our upcoming Holidays by the Sea weekend, which those of you who have attended in the past know is one of the highlights of what the Chamber does each year, and this year is going to be no exception. We have a lot of really neat things going on, starting with Friday, which is going to be on December 4th this year. We're going to continue with Christmas caroling at Nobsca Lighthouse. Once again, the Solstice Singers will be there to help lead the singing, which is a great thing because many of us who attend can't really sing very well, but it's a great night, a little bit cold. We serve donuts, hot chocolate for the kids, dress warmly, bring your families. It's a great way to kick off that weekend. Then we roll right into Saturday, where this is going to be the second year in a row we've merged the Jingle Jog and Elf Run with the appearance of Seafaring Santa. So this is going to be the 4th annual Jingle Jog and Elf Run, just around the end of the race, so that the children that come, if they run in the race or if they're there waiting for Santa, we can all merge everybody together. We give Santa a little break at that time, take him back up to Nobsca Lighthouse where he meets other children, then he goes and does some good charitable work, and then back into Falmouth, where the Falmouth Chamber, working with the Falmouth Village Association, will go once again for the 3rd annual Village Stroll. a great highlight. The merchants on Main Street are decorating their businesses, have some nice refreshments out for people, and it's a wonderful time for you to come, shop locally, support your local businesses, and that leads right into the lighting of the Village Green, which will take place at 7 o'clock p.m. Once again, the Falmouth Brass Band will be there to lead the singers, and every year we're very fortunate to have people from the Falmouth Chorale come out as well to give us a lending hand. Always need a hand with the singing. We need you to come and help us sing as well. The highlight again, at the end of the weekend, is on the 6th, is going to be the 51st annual Falmouth Christmas Parade. This year it's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be the first year we're not going to be staging from the Falmouth Mall. We're going to be staging from Dillingham Avenue. And we're going to have an opportunity for the small children and the walking groups to come into the Gus Canty Recreation Center, thanks to the generosity of the town, where they can keep warm. And then we'll merge onto Dillingham Avenue, straight out onto Main Street and around to the Village Green. Generous support from Falmouth Selectmen, and a very hearty thank you to Police Chief Ed Dunn, who is a big proponent and helped us make this happen. So if you haven't come before, you need to check it out. If you come in the past, you know what I'm talking about. Please make those plans. It's the first weekend in December, December 4th, 5th, and 6th. We'll see you at Holidays by the Sea.
Thank you to Michael for all of that information. We're going to take a quick break with a public service announcement created by one of our members, Allison Leshin, about the 300 Committee.
Look familiar? Did you know kids spend an average of 7 hours a day in front of electronic screens and only 30 minutes playing outside? Why should you care? Research shows that being in nature supports creative thinking and problem solving, reduces stress, improves ADHD symptoms, builds active, healthy bodies, and makes us happier.
So get into nature.
On a walk.
On a run.
On a bike.
Up close. In the backyard.
With a book.
On a rock. In a fort. In a tree. Just get outside. You'll be glad you did. Nature, brought to you by the 300 Committee Land Trust of Falmouth.
Welcome back. Troy Clarkson brings us this next piece about some important work being done in town for those battling addiction.
Thanks, Liz. I'm here at Cape Cod Behavioral Health here on Brick Hill Road, and some local folks here doing some important work in the area of addiction. You know, you can't pick up a newspaper or go on the internet today without really seeing some disturbing news. People are dying every day due to addiction. The opiate crisis has been raging, but really addiction and its impacts have been around for a long, long time, and were classified by the AMA almost 100 years ago as a disease. So some local folks right here in Falmouth have a unique way to treat this disease and are doing some great work for local people. They're giving them a pathway to success and a better way of life. So let's go on inside and talk to these folks and see what's going on. I'm here with Recovering Champions CEO Ken Weber, who, along with a couple local businessmen, is investing time and resources and love and lots of other stuff to save lives here in Falmouth. Ken, thank you for the good work you're doing. Tell us about your approach.
Our approach is a little different than traditional treatment models. Here at Cape Cod Behavioral Health, we have a partial hospitalization program where folks come to us from 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. From 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. every day, people are engaged in individual therapy, group therapy, psychoeducational groups. And then from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock every day, they're actually working on the 12 steps of recovery. This is a very different model than what's traditionally been offered in treatment. And then from 4 to 5 every day, people engage in some type of physical activity. Right now, folks are in yoga. So we spend a lot of time working hard on recovery. We have a very strong aftercare program and a very strong family program. We actually have family therapy here. It's not just a family educational piece, but we find that if people are blessed enough to still have family in their lives, that incorporating them into the recovery process is very helpful. We spend a lot of time on helping people get the resume together, do some job training, and so far most of the folks that at least stay in this area, we're able to find them jobs. So we take them all the way through their treatment, family recovery, and the aftercare piece. You know, a couple other components that make us unique are the food. The food here is phenomenal. Very, very balanced. We find, and a lot of research has been done on the importance of nutrition. And you think about people that are coming to the end of their addiction and food just isn't something they think about. We've had a lot of success with feeding people quality, nutritious food. We really try and treat the physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional components of someone going into recovery.
That's great. So really a holistic approach. In fact, you grow some of that food right here on site.
That's correct. Yes, we do.
So the food here at Cape Cod Behavioral Health is literally farm to table. The vegetables that are grown right here on Brick Hill Road are then used in the dinners and the lunches that are served to the folks that are here every day. So the holistic approach that Kenny talked about with the patients here is also done with the food. Another unique approach. You know, when people have cancer or heart disease or lung disease or other diseases, we often hear about treating the whole disease and the whole person. That's not something you hear about a lot with addiction, but right here in Falmouth, the folks at Cape Cod Behavioral Health are doing just that. They're breaking ground with this approach, and it's saving lives right here in our community. It's important and it should be supported. I'm Falmouth Enterprise columnist Troy Clarkson, and that's my take. Back to you, Liz.
Thank you to Troy, as always, for his take. Falmouth in Focus is proud to bring the community a program that highlights the good in town, and we want your input. Share with us your life, your day, your favorite spots in Falmouth, anything that gives us a glimpse into your world. Let's continue to make this community just that, a place where we share, learn, and experience life in Falmouth with our neighbors. Upload your short video clip or photo to Facebook or Twitter and give it the hashtags MyFalmouth and Falmouth in Focus to be featured on the show. We end every episode of Falmouth in Focus with sights and sounds around town. This time we bring you clips from the Halloween and Harvest parades that were held at the elementary schools. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Falmouth in Focus. We'll see you next time.